Great news. My new high school that I'm working in the U.S. News World and Report 2022-23 rankings, whichever ones that just came out. My new school is ranked 20th in the state of Missouri. That's fantastic. But there's another side. Hey, I'm Chuck. I'm a educator that just got a new job and a new commute, and this is you on my commute with me. I'm going home right now. This is Drive Time Diary. Thanks for coming along on the drive today. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, hello. Thanks for being here. Google Podcasts, welcome. And Spotify, you are on the main flagship if you're there. But anyway, so this podcast, thinking about getting to work here. This is great news. The 20th best school in the state of Missouri, high school. That is a list. There's 478 high schools in the state of Missouri. Like, that is way higher than I would have ever thought if you just asked me how many schools are there. But yeah, so I'm driving, so can't do that percentage, but 20 out of 478, top 10% would be in the top 50, and we are lower than that, so we're in the top 5% of schools in the state, according to, I think this is based off of graduation rate and, quote, college readiness, is what U.S. News and World Report said. Also, conflicting in this, though, there has been a lot of change, a lot of turnover, and I'm a part of it. I'm like representing part of that change and turnover. I think a number of years, a beloved superintendent retired, I think, and we have a new superintendent. And some administrators have moved out after the superintendent left. And so this is a season of change, which is great for me because it presented this opportunity for me. And that's exciting for me. But it also means the people that are still there, and this is a totally natural reaction, when you were somewhere for a long time and things are different, you have to battle this tendency to not compare it to what was there before. And in the episode last Friday, I think I even said the words, I was waxing poetically about my old trauma. I miss the good things about my old job, and when we do that, we also tend to forget the things that were not good. And so, were things perfect 8 years ago? I don't know, I wasn't here. I tried to do some research back as far as I could. So in this news report, we're ranked 20th in the state. I think in the 2019 rankings, we were 16th. According to, if you look at the rankings, the newest rankings, that's not a huge difference. It's like really splitting hairs, I think. And so, are we trending up or are we trending down? I don't know. But it's really important just to come to work with an attitude that you're going to make the most of that, you know? Labor Day was yesterday, as I'm recording this, and at our church on Sunday, we're in a series about place and being where you are, making the most of where you are, being intentional about where you are, being prayerful about where you are, being thoughtful about where you are. I've said all those things. And so we were talking about work and working where you are, I guess, to summarize that. And this is not out of the Bible. This was also a illustration or added viewpoint that got inserted into the teaching 2 days ago on Sunday. There's 3 ways to look at work. One is I get to work here. The middle one is I work here, and then the negative one is I can't believe I have to work here. So typically people that are excited, enthusiastic about their jobs, they say, I get to work here. If you're neutral, I guess, or just having a bad day, you would say, I work here. And the kind of people who are looking for new work are the kind of people who would say, I can't believe I have to work here. And so, the idea of working in the 20th best school in the state, that has to be. I don't know how you can look at that and not say, wow, obviously great things going on there. And so here's where I'm feeling stuck in the middle of is the school district that I came from. We have a school that was higher on the list, and two that were not on the list, and they have their own problems and they have their own things that are doing well for their student populations also, and there's a ton of educators in those buildings that care deeply for the students, and my intention is not at all to disparage the schools or the educators working there, from experience and camaraderie with those educators. That job is important, that job is necessary, and they are doing amazing work with what they have. Ooh, just got cut off. So this was like, I think I said in the episode I just released today, about testing, we were scraping for test scores and maintaining that accreditation, to go from that crisis mode kind of feeling often, all the time, everything there is urgent. Students' social emotional needs in a struggling school district are urgent. Students' academic needs are urgent. Students' financial needs are urgent. It's just like everything is urgent. It is hard to not get burnt out there. And so we had our first staff meeting today also, and I was sitting with my friend that is a new science teacher, and we were sharing together about how it's crazy that our first staff meeting wasn't filled with fires that we had to put out. We spent 40 minutes talking about making the best use of this academic lab time that we have at the end of the day. And half of that time was even just, we have this opportunity. This was led really well by our principal. Who is a listener? This sounds like brown nosing now. But she's not the only listener, so I'm just going to throw this out there. So we started talking just about kind of the problem, and then she sent us back to the struggles we were having, challenges we were having at this time. It's unstructured, it's a brand new thing, so we're workshopping how we're going to spend this time at the end of the day, every day.
In 2 miles, take exit 10B for I-270 East towards Chicago.
Our principal sent us back to our tables for like some small group discussion with the prompt, what could we do with this time? What if? She invited us to dream with what this could be. And it was cool for, shared leadership and flat organizational thinking. She really gave up a lot of control, and that was an empowering moment for a lot of people. As I witnessed it in the room, there was lots of teachers that shared their voice and were feeding off each other. It was cool. It was almost a fun staff meeting to be a part of, because of the possibilities that were unleashed and unlocked as the leadership was shared there. And anyway, that's all we did the first staff meeting. It wasn't talking about schedule changes and there's just so many other things that when everything is urgent and everything is a crisis, that in that first staff meeting, everyone needs an answer to their crisis in that situation, and that just wasn't what we did today, and that was so refreshing. It was amazing. And so if you listened to episode 11, Overwhelmed and Failing, like my mom sent back to me, shout out Mom, thank you for listening.
In a quarter mile, take exit 10B for I-270
she did a check-in
east
and
toward
she was
Chicago.
like, wow, sounds like you were really struggling. And I had some other people that I shared that with over the weekend, and they've been praying for me, and I think my wife is really concerned. And enacting
Take
the
exit 10B.
prayer list. God's doing that good. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for the Holy Spirit being with me today. God is good. So it was a great day, and mindset is awesome wherever you are, whatever your situation is. You have to think about the positives in that situation. Even in a crisis situation, the I get to work here in that situation. This was one thing that I encountered 7 years ago. So I said in the first episode that I live in the district I used to teach in, and it's also the district I grew up in, and there was a lot of like several years after college, I was just trying so hard to live in a different part of the St. Louis
In a quarter
area.
mile, take exit 27 for State Highway N. New
Trying to
Florissant
live
Road.
somewhere cooler, I guess. Quote unquote, whatever that means. And
Take
as
exit
we were looking
27,
for
then merge
our
onto
second
Version
house,
Road.
7 years or so ago, we felt definitely nudged, led by God to look in Florissant, where I used to teach, and it was not an audible voice, so it was definitely a notion and inkling of the honor to get to work in the district. That was a privilege that I needed to sense there. That I got to make an
Take the
impact
next left toward South New
for those
Florissant
kids
Road.
that show up
Then
every
use the
day.
left 2 lanes to turn left onto South New Florissant Road.
When you're in a harder situation, everywhere you
Use the
go,
left 2 lanes to
every
turn
day
left
there's a
onto
chance to
South
be a
New
hero and
Florissant
make somebody's
Road.
day, to be that listening ear for a kid. I mean, this is true of education also, but when everything's a crisis, you can just like walk around and just like put out fires all day long. Like that's a job that is necessary in struggling schools. Let's see. Here we go. Stream of consciousness podcast. I kind of lost where I was going. So, yeah. Even in that struggling case, as you're looking for, I get to work here. Some of my best days at the high school I was at in that district before, and the middle school I just left. Some of my best days were just helping people get through the day.
Continue on South New Florissant
and
Road for 1.5
connecting
miles.
personally. And that was always a privilege and a gift to get to do that. For kids, for support staff, for the teachers in the next room. And so you can have that attitude, that mindset. Today is a gift. What do I get to do with today? What privilege and opportunity do I have where God's placed me here today? You can have that mindset anywhere. And so that's what I'm working on this week to rebound from last week. by God's grace, His mercies are new every morning. That's in Lamentations, the book of Lamentations. So I can't believe I get to work here. Exciting news this week. I am working in the, according to U.S. News and World Report's 20th best school in the state, and it's a privilege and a burden that I'm trying to get out from under of maintaining that level. Like, that's it's hard to get on that list. There's 478 schools, like the top 5% of schools in the state. That is wicked good. So wherever you're at today, tomorrow, whenever you're listening to this, I just want to encourage you to have that same mindset, that same attitude. How are you going to show up today to make someone's day, make something awesome, to focus on your opportunities for impact, and to look away from the things you could complain and grumble about. Everybody can complain and grumble about any situation, which also means anybody can look at the positives and look how you're going to show up to be awesome today, tomorrow. So that's what's on my mind. That's the drive. Again, I'm Chuck. Thanks for coming on the drive with me today. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next drive.